Hey y'all. Hey y'all. I'm gonna do a contrast and compare video here with. I've seen this several times now. Jordy is like in Florida enjoying Disney World right now. And so he pre scheduled this content.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back to the Food Network. Now, I said that we are going to do the ERBs video today. Apparently, Chantal had to go into the emergency room for hyperglycemia because of her diabetes. A lot of people in the community are skeptical about whether or not she actually went to the ER.
I believe that her video actually said hypoglycemia, which is the low blood sugar. So I guess that was a typo.
You never really know with Chantal, honestly. That's kind of why a lot of people put her and Amber Lynn in the same basket. You never really know what's real and what isn't. That's kind of why a lot of conspiracy theories and thoughts surround hers and Amber Lynn's channel, because we never know if we're being told the truth or lied to. So let's go ahead and listen to what she has to say. Already off the bat here, as I look through this video, it doesn't look like there is any footage of her in the emergency room itself. So it's not really looking too great for her case. It's like, well, if you went to the emergency room, why isn't there some footage in the emergency room? So it's just her in a car talking about how she went to the emergency room.
Hang on a second. This is the the picture I showed of me in the emergency room with a pocket of saline just above my elbow. Well, just below my elbow, I guess, depending on your perspective, of how they missed the vein, the paramedics that took me to the ER. They missed the vein, and I ended up with a pool of saline in my arm.
Okay, all right. Let's hear her out. Let's go past the intro. Ho, 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 get a cameo. It's the perfect Christmas gift. Okay.
Very calm and peaceful. I love it. Well, hello guys. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be telling you about my story time of me being in the hospital yesterday. So I was in the ER sorry for the sun dust, for like 12 hours. So here's what happened. So yesterday I had a eye doctor appointment. So I went to the eye doctor appointment, and then, as I was pulling into the driveway, I felt dizzy, and I noticed I was a lot more dizzy, and like my vision was more blurry than usual. And then during the exam, they had to put these contrast eye drops in to see behind my eyes, and it made my vision even more blurry. So I had to wait in my car to even drive.
Okay, first of all, if you're...
I don't even want to get into Jordy's shit right now. Let's go back to my retelling of my ER visit that happened approximately a month before Chantel's supposed ER visit. Okay, let's take a look at this.
Hi, friends, family. Thank you for those of you who reached out to me over the last 24 hours. Basically what happened is I went to my physical therapy appointment and completed 3 exercises. I did 5 minutes on the stationary bike. I did the stretch your calves out on like an incline board. And then I did the raise up on the balls of your feet 20 times. by the last 3 of the ball races, I started passing out. Gray started coming in from either side, and the front got fuzzy, and I didn't have the best of judgment because I said, hey, I need to just lie down. Maybe you can put the heat wrap on my knee, but I'm not feeling great right now. And so they were asking me questions about like what I was experiencing. They started taking my blood pressure, and I was bottoming out. I was like 80/40. Fortunately, the fire department is right across the street from my physical therapy office. So the response time was like that. They immediately came to take me to the ER. They stuck an IV in my arm over here, but the dude missed the paramedic. He missed the vein. So by the time I got to the ER, I had a big puffy section of my arm where all of the saline was pooling and collecting underneath my arm. They also pricked my finger, this one. I imagine that was to test my blood sugar to see if I was diabetic and having some sort of whatever it is that happens to diabetics. I am not. My blood sugar was fine. In fact, by the time I got to the ER, most of my vitals were normal. Like I was coming back to, right? And normally, my blood pressure is quite high, which is why I'm on blood pressure medicine. And I don't have a concrete answer for why this happened, other than they found in my blood work that my potassium levels was so low that I was at like fatality range. So your potassium level is supposed to be between 3.5 and 4.5. I was at 2. And so I spent the night on an IV drip of potassium and saline and for 8 hours. And they were able to get me up to a 2.5 by the morning. Still not good enough. I'm still in the death range.
You're showing up somewhere, or you're driving and you start to feel dizzy, lightheaded, blurry vision, whatever. My first thought would not be to continue with the appointment and go in and have my eyes modified with, so that my first thought would be, okay, let me stop, let me drink some water, let me sit here for a little bit, let me do some deep breathing, let me see how I feel. I wouldn't go about my day as is, continuing to be dizzy and lightheaded. But she did.
Drive. And I noticed that the dizziness wasn't going away. The blurry vision went away enough that I could drive. So I thought, I'm going to go to the hospital.
Oh my gosh. The blurry vision went away enough so that I was able to drive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, my vision's not that blurry, so yeah, I can drive. No big deal. If my vision is at all blurry, I'm not getting behind a wheel. Well, it's not that bad. Yeah, I mean, it's a little spotty. There's some blotch.
Yeah, seriously, Chantel, you can't afford an Uber. I mean, it sounds like none of your family are reliable enough to help you out. I mean, look, I've been in that situation too, where I can't get a hold of any family members when I have a medical emergency. But don't you think you should have called an Uber or something at that point?
It's a little bit of a haze, but it's not all in all that bad. I'm going to drive. What am I going to do? Not drive?
and I'm going to get checked out because, you know, you hear horror stories about diabetes, ketoacidosis, hyperglycemia, going into diabetic coma. So I decided to go to the emergency because the walk-in clinics were pretty full for the day, and I don't have a family doctor. There's a wait list, okay? So in Ontario. So I went to the ER, and they have all my file there already.
I don't know how you could have possibly thought that the ER would be faster than an urgent clinic, period. But on top of it, the entire story sounds like you picked it up from me and from another channel, Kidney J, who also recently had an ER visit.
So that's good. It didn't look too busy when I got there. Honestly, I thought it was going to be kind of in and out kind of thing. You know, they would prescribe insulin or something. That's what I thought, and I would get to go. So no,
Okay, Chantal, you have told us in the past that the healthcare situation in Canada is pretty abysmal at the moment. That it takes, 20 hours to be seen at the ER? That's the average wait time. And to get an appointment with a doctor, it's years. Why would you think that going into an ER would be a quick thing? Oh, I just thought they'd give me an injection. I just thought they'd give me a little bit of sugar, tell me to drink an apple juice, and I'd be on my merry way. Why would you think that? I'm kind of just starting off this story a little bit skeptical just because a lot of it doesn't make sense so far. And I know that Chantal, she doesn't really have a lot to upload. I mean, we watched the video from yesterday when she went to the Chinese buffet. She was driving around on deserted roads, getting out of the car, hyperventilating, filming random trees, and then getting back in her car. Girl really doesn't have too much going on right now, but because it's December and December AdSense is so important, we have to be uploading every day. And if she...
By the way, this is somebody who was supposedly in the ER 2 days beforehand and is running around town. I mean, I spent more than a full week trying to down potassium as much as I could at home and not really leaving to do anything at that point.
And they were able to get me up to a 2.5 by the morning. Still not good enough. I'm still in the death range, right? So they made me take 2 horse pills of potassium, kept checking my vitals for hours, and then made me take 2 more of them before they discharged me. I'm still not where they want me to be. They've put me on a prescription of potassium and asked me to add more citrus to my diet. Other than that, they haven't asked me to do any significant changes, but it was a scary situation, and hopefully I've gotten pulled out far enough that I don't have to worry about just like dropping dead. Thank you, Mom, for coming and hanging out with me in the ER and retrieving my car for me. Thank you to all of my friends and family who have been helpful in this scenario. And for those who offered help, but it was too late in the evening for you to help. So I'm going to take it easy today. Going to get my prescription. That's going to be my only chore today. And I'm just going to watch videos and take naps. And hopefully take a shower at some point. I'm not even ready for that yet. I'm so tired. Because you can't sleep. You cannot sleep with an IV in your arm and a blood pressure cuff on your other arm squeezing you every half hour. It is impossible to get a good night's sleep in that scenario. Anywho, it looks like I'm going to live. I have a strategy, I guess I'm probably going to have to take more blood tests over the next few weeks to see if I'm like getting back to normal limits. But thank you for those of you who were thinking of me.
She can be uploading every day. It's in her best interest to be uploading something that's shocking. So if she puts up a thumbnail, I spent 12 hours in observation. Oh, my health is really going downhill. I mean, this would probably get a lot of more clicks than versus, if she were to upload a video titled "Driving Around My Hometown." So this just kind of sounds weird already, just based off of the details you've already provided.
I told them my symptoms. She pricked my finger, took my blood sugar. It was 23. I'll try to put the conversion here somewhere in MGDL, but that's MMOL. And it's, that's very high. So they were surprised how high it was. So, then, she said, okay, she took all my information. She said, now we're going to have you register. So I went to register.
Now, I don't know what that number means, what she just put on the screen, like 414. I don't know what that means in terms for people that are diabetic, but from what I've been seeing recently with Chantal is she likes to come on here and put up crazy high numbers to get people all riled up and to get people's jaws to drop to the floor. I don't know if these are necessarily her numbers or if she's making them a bit higher than normal to get a rise out of people. I think that she's just here for the visa. She's here to do a bunch of silly stuff to rile people up, and then she's going to go back to Kuwait the first chance she gets in January. I don't know if I believe these numbers, because if all of the shockingly high numbers were accurate, as she says that they are, I feel like she wouldn't be going about life the way that she is, or she wouldn't be able.
I agree. I think that she's, first of all, if you look at the glucose saying that she's the glucose monitor, is that what it's called? That she's using, the date keeps changing on it. Like, for instance, just a couple of weeks ago, it had a date for like January 2024, and the most recent reading, it said March of 2024. So she's seriously fucking with her glucose monitor. So it just doesn't seem realistic that those readings are correct.
Able to be. She'd be laying down somewhere, or she would be in the emergency room. She wouldn't be out driving around filming kind of seemingly normal.
They give you that arm bracelet thing. So then ECG, I think it's ECG, tech came and said, we're going to do an ECG. So they take me to this.
Okay, hang tight. This is where I described the same event for YouTube. The other one was a Facebook description.
Happy Saturday. Saturday, right? Yeah. Saturday. Sorry, guys. A little out of it. So I had a medical emergency on Thursday. Basically what happened is I went to a physical therapy appointment for my leg, for my complex regional pain syndrome. And trying to find the pocket in this room. Okay, I found it. By the way, I've been watching a lot of Peter Mon lately. He's been talking a lot about the struggles he's been having with lisinopril, which is a heart blood medication. I take valsartan for mine. And he said that a lot of the side effects that he's been experiencing, I have been experiencing too, such as the runny nose, the coughing, the tickle in the back of your throat, right? These are side effects common side effects of heart blood pressure medications. So I went to my physical therapy appointment on Thursday, and I got through about 3 exercises. I already did a video on Facebook about this, but my YouTube audience is a completely different audience, so I'm just gonna give you a little update about what happened to me over the last couple of days. So I went to my appointment. I got through about 3 exercises. I did 5 minutes on the stationary bike. Then they put the slanted board out, so I have to do this calf stretch for 2 minutes. And then they have me on like the side of the walker thing. What's that called? It's treadmill. And I use that as like a balance beam, basically. And I just raise up on the balls of my feet for 20 times. The last 3 seemed to be very difficult. And all of a sudden, I started passing out. I did not pass out, but I started passing out. And I said, I was trying to hold it in because that's how I am. I know that's not how you should be, but I was trying to just like push through and hold it in, but I realized I wasn't going to be able to do anything. So I hollered over to the physical therapist, and I said, I don't feel good. I think I should lie down and have a heat wrap on my knee. And the lead physical therapist said, what are you feeling like? Is it like tunnel vision? I said, yeah, it feels like there's gray. I can't see my peripheral vision anymore, and it's very fuzzy in front of me. And I also started getting some brain fog as this was happening. So they sat me down in a chair, took my blood pressure. I was bottoming out. I was like 80/40. They called 911, and fortunately, like the fire department's like right across the street. So they came over, assessed me, put me in the ambulance, gave me an IV with saline, but they missed the vein. So I ended up with a big pocket of saline pooling under my skin. This is a comedy of errors. And they pricked my finger, I guess probably to try and tell if I was diabetic and if I had some sort of diabetic thing going on, which I do not. And that was fine. They bring me to the ER, and I was there for hours and hours, because this incident happened around 2:15 on Thursday, and I was not transferred. I was admitted ultimately, but I was not transferred to a room until close to 10 o'clock at night. My mom, Champion, came and sat with me for most of that time. Also went and retrieved my car and put it in the hospital parking lot, so when I did get discharged, I could drive home, because that's been a problem in the past. Very unite here. So my car was ready for me, but I had to spend the entire night with an IV in my arm that was very painful. I could not move my arm. Like, you can't like take your earrings out when you need to. They did a CT scan on me. At least now, like, when, you know, what's the upside of having to find out what's wrong with you in an emergency situation is they do so many tests on you that you find out, okay, cool, I do not have anything wrong with my chest. I do not have anything wrong with my head. I do not have any tumors. I do not have problems with my heart or any of my other internal organs. That is fantastic to have that kind of testing done because it doesn't normally happen, right? It doesn't normally happen. So anyway, in an emergency situation, they do check you out. You get all those tests. And so fortunately, I had like something better than a physical, which is fantastic. That's all taken care of. But when the blood work came back, I have a potassium deficiency. Now you're supposed to score between 3.5 and 4.5 as a healthy potassium limit. I was at 2.1, which is considered fatal. So they put me on a drip all night, hoping to get me to 2.9 by the morning. They also gave me like some sort of shot that would prevent blood clots. And I was on the most uncomfortable hospital bed ever all night. And with this painful drip going into my arm for 8 hours, and then they continued with saline for a few hours after that. They continued taking my vitals. They were only able to get me up to 2.5. They gave me a couple more pills, like potassium supplements, and then observed me for a few more hours. And then they gave me a couple more pills, and I was there for 2 meals on Friday. I had breakfast and lunch in the hospital. They gave me a couple more pills and discharged me and gave me a prescription for potassium supplements. So that's what I have to take going forward, and I have to eat more citrus fruit. So I can control this through diet. But one disturbing thing that the ER doc told me, because he's able to tap into my Kaiser records, is that I've actually been scoring low for a couple of years, and my primary care physician never told me and never did anything about it. She never said, hey, by the way, you should be taking potassium supplements because your score is not within healthy range. I apparently tested 3.1 in January. Nobody told me what that means, whether I should be concerned about it. So hold your doctors accountable, everybody, for explaining the results of things, because I always had a...
Let's go back to the other footage. And by the way, I was given a turkey sandwich while I was in the ER, since I had missed the dinner service before I got admitted.
I can't believe how thick my hair got. I didn't
do an ECG. So they take me to this little room, like ECG. I guess they're just trying to rule everything out. They hooked me up, did the ECG. Then I had to wait in the waiting room. And I was waiting for a long time, and I was just like, I saw groups of people that I know registered after me go before me, okay? Now, a little cute French...
This is like when you go to a restaurant and someone walks up to the host table and they, say, oh, like party of 4, and they get seated before your party of 8. Well, they walked in after me and they were seen before me. What's with that? Chantal, you coming into the ER and talking about how you're lightheaded, you talking about how you're blurry vision, that probably doesn't take priority in a stressed and overwhelmed healthcare system like Canada has right now. That probably doesn't take priority over someone coming in and needing to be immediately seen, like it possibly being fatal. So I don't know. It just seems a little bit main character. Well, they came in after me.
And And I'm French Canadian, so I can make fun of the accent. I'm not making fun. I'm just going to try to imitate it because, you know, it makes the video more interesting. I don't know. You can laugh at me. No, but she came by and she was a volunteer. You know those like cute little old lady volunteers that are so nice? And she said, "Wow, you've been waiting here a lot, eh?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "What's your name? I will go check." I said, "Chantal." And she knows how to say my name because she's French Canadian. So she said, "Oh, Chantal, salut, okay. I will go check. I will come right back." So she came back and she said, "They didn't forget you, but they're waiting for your ECG results to figure out where to put you. Because there's different areas of the emergency, okay?
I had 3 EKGs within the first 8 hours, and they got results back immediately. Like, they just did it, and they had the results, period. Like, it wasn't like they needed to process it or anything like that. It just happened. They did a chest x-ray on me. I mean, I don't know what she's trying to whine about here because she totally used the ER inappropriately.
Urgent care, which you have to follow the yellow dots for, which is like minor things. And then there's observation, and that's if they need to monitor you, you know, hook you up and monitor you and stuff. Follow the green dots. And then there's emergent care, follow the blue dots, which I don't even know what that means. So anyways, after a while, you know, I thought, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. You know, they haven't called me. Sure enough, the minute I sit down on the toilet seat, they call my name. So I have to hurry up. And I go out, I'm like, "Yes, me." So the nice lady, she's like, "Follow me, I show you where you go." And so I was expecting to go to the yellow dots. Sure enough, I was expecting to go to the yellow dots. Well, to my surprise, I was asked to go to observation. So I was getting a little worried. You know, they're waiting for my ECG results. I have to go to observation. But they did blood work while I was waiting in the ER waiting room. Actually, they did blood work and hooked up an IV, you know, just in case they need to draw blood and give fluids. All right, so I get to my room in observation. There's less rooms in this area. It's more small, you know, and intensive. And there's like, I have to put on a...
Now, it's like some of the parts of the story seem a little bit more believable than others. The whole thing with the dots and having to go to observation room and possibly blood work, those seem like details that she was pretty sure about. But with other things, it just seems a little bit silly. So maybe parts of this story are correct and truthful and other parts are just fluff, just to have this video go past 15 minutes to get the mid-roll ad in and everything. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of... well, maybe a lot of bit of lies mixed into a little bit of truth.
A gown that didn't fit, so I had the gown half on, and then I just made sure to keep the curtain closed. And my nurse comes in, she's like, "Hi, I don't know why you're here."
I don't, seriously, everybody has to deal with those miserable gowns, so I don't know why that's a complaint for you.
Always had assumed that if something was wrong, she would call me and give me treatment for it. You know, tell me, "Hey, you got to take this," or "You got to change your diet," or... So now my boyfriend kindly bought me, he came over and took care of me yesterday. Helped me get my prescription, took me to dinner so that I could have some food, and bought me 2 big jugs of pineapple juice and orange juice, which is high in potassium, both of them. If you're taking a blood pressure medicine, make sure that you're aware of all the side effects, because that's apparently a side effect.
I had a follow-up visit the week after. It had nothing to do with my blood pressure medicine. So I can show you that video too.
And my primary care physician should have known that. She should have known that.
It's really difficult when you have a lot of doctors treating you and they give you various opinions, You got some people saying, no, it's this. It's because of your valsartan, right? It's that's what um, made your potassium drop down. And it's another thing entirely. Then you have another doctor saying, oh no, actually, one of the side effects of valsartan is that your potassium goes up. So it doesn't make sense that that's the reason. You know what the reason is, really, though, is that because I was bit by a dog and I've been in extreme pain for the last 2 years, I've been throwing up a lot. And just like a bulimic or, an anorexic, I'm losing nutrients because I wake up in the middle of the night and need to throw up. And I have to supplement the lost nutrients as a result of that.
I was bottoming out, and it's not like it was the first time. When I went in for a visit to Kaiser to get my flu shot and my Depo-Provera shot in October, I also was bottoming out. And they're like, well, let's just take a few more readings. I had a near fatal incident, and I had no idea how close to death I was. So please understand the side effects of your medicines and make sure that your physician is on top.
Again, it actually had nothing to do with my blood pressure medicine. It had to do with complex regional pain syndrome and the fact that I've been throwing up a lot.
Of your blood readings. I have started, pounding the juice that my boyfriend bought me. And I'm taking the supplements that they've given me, and hopefully I can bring my potassium level back up to normal range. But as it stands right now, I can only assume I'm still in the danger zone. So, be well out there, you guys, and make sure you have good communications with your doctors. Have a happy Saturday. I'm sorry if I'm being Debbie Downer. My boyfriend loves to make me... We've watched some of my videos back together, and he loves to, whenever I jump in with commentary, he loves to go, wah, wah. That's our running joke, is that I'm Debbie Downer on these videos. Well, maybe that's true, but at least it is transformative content, right? Because you can't just repeat somebody else's stuff. You can't just be like, did he just say this? And have no commentary. Anyway, we were laughing about that last night. But yes, in regards to the hospital bed, my back has been throbbing today because I was in an uncomfortable position for from 10 o'clock to about noon, or maybe a little later, 12:30 yesterday. And so now my entire back, but mostly my lower back, is throbbing. Hi, Deborah. How are you doing? Do you have any good plans for Saturday? I don't usually do long live streams because I'm a little shy that way. Anyway, I'm going to watch some videos and see if there's anything I can do commentary on. I almost passed out. Well, you know what? When I conclude this, you can watch it back. It'll be in the latest Politics and Karaoke playlist. It'll be at the very bottom. and you can watch back like everything that happened. But I'm going to chill out today and probably put a heat pad on my back. It wasn't fun, I'll tell you that much, and I'm a little spooked. And I'm just going to be downing a lot of citrus right now so that I can get potassium in my body. All right, well, y'all have a happy Saturday. And it's nice to see you, Deborah. And I hope you all take care, okay?
Arm & Hammer Hardball Litter. How hard is it? Crazy hard. Amazing. It's the virtually indestructible clump.
I don't want to wear foundation every day, so I do this instead.
This is the universe. Do an ECG. So they take me to this little room, like ECG. I guess they're just trying to rule everything out. They hooked me up, did the ECG. Then I had to wait in the waiting room. And I was waiting for a long time, and I was just like, I saw groups of people that I know registered after me go before me, okay? Now, a little cute French...
This is like when you go to a restaurant and someone walks up to the host table and they, say, oh, like party of 4, and they get seated before your party of 8. Well, they walked in after me and they were seen before me. What's with that? Chantal, you coming into the ER and talking about how you're lightheaded, you talking about how you're blurry vision, that probably doesn't take priority in a stressed and overwhelmed healthcare system like Canada has right now. That probably doesn't take priority over someone coming in and needing to be immediately seen, like it possibly being fatal. So I don't know. It just seems a little bit main character. Well, they came in after me.
And I'm French Canadian, so I can make fun of the accent. I'm not making fun. I'm just going to try to imitate it because, makes the video more interesting. I don't know. You can laugh at me. No, but she came by and she was a volunteer. Those like cute little old lady volunteers that are so nice. And she said, wow, you've been waiting here a lot, eh? And I said, yeah. And she said, what's your name? I will go check. I said, Chantal. And she knows how to say my name because she's French Canadian. So she said, oh, Chantal, salut, okay. I will go check. I will come right back. So she came back and she said, they didn't forget you, but they're waiting for your ECG results to figure out where to put you. Because there's different areas of the emergency, okay? There's urgent care, which you have to follow the yellow dots for, which is like minor things. And then there's observation, and that's if they need to monitor you, hook you up and monitor you and stuff. Follow the green dots. And then there's emergent care, follow the blue dots, which I don't even know what that means. So anyways, after a while, I thought, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. They haven't called me. Sure enough, the minute I sit down on the toilet seat, they call my name. So I have to hurry up. And I go out, I'm like, yes, me. So the nice lady, she's like, follow me, I'll show you where you go. And so I was expecting to go to the yellow dots. Sure enough, I was expecting to go to the yellow dots. Well, to my surprise, I was asked to go to observation. So I was getting a little worried. They're waiting for my ECG results. I have to go to observation. But they did blood work while I was waiting in the ER waiting room. Actually, they did blood work and hooked up an IV, just in case they need to draw blood and give fluids. All right. So I get to my room in observation. There's less rooms in this area. It's more small, and intensive. And there's I have to put on a...
Now, it's like some of the parts of the story seem a little bit more believable than others. The whole thing with the dots and having to go to observation room and possibly blood work, those seem like details that she was pretty sure about. But with other things, it just seems a little bit silly. So maybe parts of this story are correct and truthful and other parts are just fluff, just to have this video go past 15 minutes to get the mid-roll ad in and everything. So, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of... Well, maybe a bit of lies mixed into a little bit of truth.
A gown that didn't fit, so I had the gown.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that she did some Google research to help construct this story, and she also borrowed from online content producers who have actually had recent ER visits.
Half on, and then I just made sure to keep the curtain closed. And my nurse comes in. She's like, "Hi, I don't know why you're here, but I'll find out." I was like, "All right." So I had to retell my story. You always have to, anyways. They want to hear what you have to say. Asking me symptoms, all this and that. She hooked me up. My oxygen sat was 97, which is fine. My blood pressure was 135 over, I don't even know. And they didn't seem concerned with that. And so...
Yeah, 135 is a little bit high, but it's not that big of a deal, to be real. When I have 135, they're like, yeah, you're okay. You're fine. Your normal blood pressure is 120 over 80. Like I said in my videos, I was 80 over 40. Like, I was about to fucking die.
They did take some blood from the... They just put the tube into the IV thing and take the blood that way. Very convenient. Instead of sticking you all the time, you know? So, my blood sugar started at 23 when I went in there. So I presented with... The doctor came in. It was...
See, like that, for example, that minor detail about putting in a tube into the IV so that they don't have to stick you again, that seems real. That seems like it happened.
Resident doctor. She said, you have hyperglycemia, and she said if you didn't come when you did, I suspect that it would have developed into like ketoacidosis because of the symptoms you had. Now, my blood test came back that my blood wasn't acidic, but she thought that it could develop potentially into that. And so I said, oh, well, that's nice. You know.
I don't know, Jordy, because I'm fairly confident that I mentioned that on one of my videos. I just don't know which one. But I'm fairly confident that I did mention that I had exactly that type of device in my arm.
It's not scary at all. Basically, I'm learning that diabetes...
Okay, so her blood at all was not acidic. But the doctor or nurse told her that it was likely to develop into ketoacidosis. Well, she already alluded to ketoacidosis very early during the beginning of this video. Well, you know, it could turn into something worse. It could turn into ketoacidosis. So here she is now saying another detail. Well, the nurse or the doctor said that it might turn into ketoacidosis. So it's like, is she just like using that premonition over again to be recycled later on? It's like, oh, well, you know, this is what the nurse said later on. It's just like an art. It really is an art trying to discern between what she says, between what happened and what likely is just fluff.
Is really no joke. So I do feel like an ass just laughing and having a good time eating plates of Chinese food the other day. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Anyway, pardon my language. She,
That's why she went on to have like 3 fucking plates of poutine, right? Especially the one with the freaking pickles on it and ranch. Yeah, she really gives a shit. Like, I was so scared after I was in the ER that I was watching my diet so closely. And I realized that some of the alterations that I made to my diet were actually making me sick too. Oh, I guess my cat's mad at me right now. I gotta figure that out in a second. But, like, for instance, drinking all that orange juice for the potassium, it turns out that I can't handle the acid. And that was actually triggering me to throw up again.
Said we're going to give you insulin and try to get your blood sugar down. We want it down below 15. So I said, all right. She said, have you been taking your metformin? I'm on something that's a different name than metformin. I said, no, because it makes me very ill and I haven't been taking it regularly. So that's a no-no also. So She gave me my first dose of insulin, and then took a blood test about 20 minutes later. My blood sugar went down to 16.5. And then they did some blood work. I forget the name of the test. I'll have to put it here somewhere. Osmo something. That, because when you're diabetic, you urinate more frequent. But if you're not drinking, if you're dehydrated and not having enough fluid or something, it leaves like sediment in your blood. I don't know. So I was highly dehydrated from these blood tests. So they gave me some fluid, and it wasn't on a pump. It was like a drip. So it was so slow. And I had to keep my arm a certain way or it would drip even slower. Anyway, I hate when they flush your line. You can taste the saline in your body. Ugh. Oh, well. Anyway, the staff was very nice. So I was, there for many hours at that point. And then they tested, my blood sugar. It was like 13 something. They gave me another dose of insulin. And then finally, by the end of everything, by the time I got home, I left with an insulin, with a blood sugar reading of 11. It was a lot better than 23, but still high. I was starving. I felt really dizzy and nauseous though, but I was still hungry. I was starting to feel a bit better, but I was so tired and hungry. It was like 12 hours since I've eaten.
Well, you always are, Chantal. I mean, that's kind of a redundant comment to make. So they cut her sugar in half. If 11 is high and she came in at 23, I mean, again, I don't know if these numbers are correct, but that seems pretty significant to cut your sugar in half like that.
So the lady said, we want to give you something to eat to see how...
Which I don't do lives very often, right? But I did one last weekend after I had been released from the hospital because I had a fatally low potassium reading in my blood, and I had almost passed out in my physical therapy appointment. I don't know if they want to do more screenings on me before they release me back, because I need a medical release before I go back to physical therapy. But I did do at least one follow-up at this point. And I did go from, while taking the supplements and spending a week eating potassium-rich foods, such as downing orange juice, eating potato salad. I tried halibut. I don't like it. Didn't like it. But I tried it. And, I was just trying to kind of pound down the potassium as much as I could. So basically, where I landed on my blood reading from yesterday, because they sent me the results from that test overnight, is that I am now registering in a 3.9 for potassium. The healthy range is 3.5 to 4.5, so that's good. That means I'm not going to fucking die. I'm not on death's door anymore, you guys. I did still have a low reading for chloride. I'm trying to learn more about that. I'm going to have to call my doctor on Monday to find... It's not that low. It's only it's you're supposed to score 100 or up, and I was at 99. So I don't know what that means exactly. I was in the yellow, because they have green, yellow, and red when they send you the results. I don't know what that means exactly. I kind of feel like it's related to salt. I did read that it is related to electrolytes. And electrolytes are all of the various nutrients that you ingest that create some level of water retention, and but they have to be somewhat controlled, because when you look at some of these people that Jordy covers that have eating disorders, Amber Lynn and Foodie Beauty, and even Eugenia Cooney, they're going to have really poor readings on their blood. Because, like, I think it was Amber Lynn, there was some footage that I saw in which she talked about having a lot of water retention. When I was heavy, I did too. Back in 2018, early 2018, I weighed about 210. Nowhere close to where she lands, because she's like over 400 or something. But at that time, the blood pressure medicine that I was taking included a water pill. Because of that, once you get to a certain obesity rate, you are taking on too much water, right? But then throughout 2018, I dropped 70 pounds, and or 60 pounds. I think I dropped the next 10 pounds like the next year. And towards fall, so I weighed in at 210 around April, and by October, I was in incredible abdominal pain. I had to lie on the ground all the time. I didn't know what was wrong with me, so I went into the doctor, and they're like, oh, well, let's take this water pill out of your blood pressure medicine, because clearly you don't need it anymore. You can, I mean, like, there are problems one way or the other, up or down, and, you know, you look at somebody like Eugenia Cooney, and she probably has problems a little bit more, even though I'm not anorexic. Not a problem with me. But once you start getting to the lower weight levels, you have to kind of, and if you've got conditions, especially like you're taking medications and stuff. But in this case, my doctor on Friday told me that no, my blood pressure medicine could not possibly have caused this, because apparently valsartan increases your potassium level, not decreases. So there has not been a diagnosis on this yet, but the rationale is that once I was bit by that dog and I developed complex regional pain syndrome, that because I was in so much pain, I was throwing up a lot, I was dry heaving at night and stuff like that, that I was losing nutrients through that action. It doesn't happen all the time, but it was happening for quite a while. And as a result, I dropped to a fatal level of potassium in my reading. But I also just wanted to follow up because, like, I've seen a lot of videos this week about how people use their health considerations to try and raise money, or to have fake GoFundMes, or you know, they're lying about actually having things, like the Tourette's girl, like the cancer girl. Apparently, even Trisha Paytas did it with DYD. Is that what it's called? It's like, sounds like it sounded like when you have dual personalities, you have like multiple personalities or something. I don't even know what that was, but she got called out. This was a Wavy Web video that came out within the last couple of days, and it popped up in my feed because he's one of the guys I follow. So apparently there's been some people on TikTok, Twitter, whatnot, Instagram, who have faked medical conditions and make it very difficult for people who are poor and struggling with real medical conditions, make it so that they're not trusted. And it's more difficult for them to raise money in their plate. Because it's not like we have Medicare for all yet, right? I am not asking you for money, but I'm letting you know I'm okay. I followed their treatment plan. My potassium level is back up to a healthy limit. As for now, I imagine they're going to monitor me for a little while to make sure I don't like skyrocket through the roof taking these supplements. But that's where I land right now. This weekend is a good weekend for me. I feel good. I don't feel like I'm going to fall asleep every 2 hours. And that's how I had been feeling for the last couple of months. Unless I get diagnosed with something serious and I know that like I'm on death's door, I'm you know, like I have cancer, whatnot, I'm not going to ask you for money unless you just want to like support the content that I produce, which this is totally different subject matter. But I'm fine. I'm going to live. I just got to monitor this. I got to figure out like how to maintain the right levels in my blood. And, you know, the older you get, this shit happens to you. And for those people out there who TikTok and YouTube are allowing to have eating disorder type of channels, shame on you. Shame on you for allowing them to promote such unhealthy lifestyles. That is, you know what it is. They know for a fact that there are fetishes behind that. There's fetishes behind it. I'm really, with the fatties, you know, it's just gross. Because they also appear not to actually, like, shower or take care of themselves. But, and I've had obese women friends in my life before where, like, I can totally smell it. I can totally smell it. But in the case of Eugenia, it's even sadder because she probably has a potassium deficiency as well. And she probably doesn't realize how close to death she is. Anyway, I'm going to keep covering this stuff. I'm still on medical leave. I'm still shaggy myself, right? I need a haircut, you guys. Like, my hair is like all tangling up with itself. I need a haircut as well. But, like, some things become less of a priority when you're in rehabilitation for an injury or something like that. So, anyway, that is the update. I appreciate the people who came on board and were like, oh, you know, I hope you get better soon. Thank you. I mean, I worked really hard this week. I was waking up at like 4 a.m. and downing OJ. I was doing the best I could to get as much of that potassium in my body as I could. I bought an avocado too, so I can have it with my butternut squash soup. Both high in potassium. I really thought this through, like going through my shopping list and everything. I was really thinking it through. So I hope you all have a blessed weekend. And I thank you so much for your concern over my situation. And let's just continue to enjoy the nutters that are on social media and all the crap that they have to say, right? All the dumbass shit that they have to say. Let's just have some more fun with that. Thank you, everybody.
Half like that.
So the lady said, we want to give you something to eat to see how you tolerate it. So she brings this sandwich that was like, the hospital food is horrendous. I'm sorry. And you know what doesn't make sense to me? I mean, I know it's not a 5-star hotel, but like they gave me
I got a turkey sandwich before I was admitted to a bed. And I'm fairly confident I mentioned that on one of my live streams, that I was given a turkey sandwich in the ER because I missed the dinner service for the hospital. And I nibbled on it all night while I was having the potassium drip.
turkey sandwich on brown, but it was like stale brown bread with like one slice of turkey and butter on it. It was like gross.
She's complete.
There is no way a hospital is going to give her a turkey sandwich with butter on it, especially as a diabetic.
Complaining about the hospital food. I mean, no, Chantal, it's not going to be like your big plate of fried rice at the Chinese buffet. Oh my gosh.
But I ate some of it because that was the best sandwich when you're starving, okay? They gave me water, so I ate that in the water. But then they gave me apple juice, like full sugar apple juice, and a full sugar, not diet, low fat, gluten-free. It was a whole sugar-loaded muffin, apple cinnamon muffin. And I'm thinking, I'm in the hospital in observation.
You're literally whining about that after eating 3 fucking plates of Putin, right? Also, you're a hamburger helper, and you're not supposed to be having red meat, right? Now, when you make hamburger helper, Chantal, you can use ground turkey. You can use ground chicken. There are other options that you can use. You do realize that, right?
For hyperglycemia, and you're giving me sugar, because if I would have eaten that and drank the apple juice with it, they would be giving me more insulin, I'm sure.
I don't think that happened. They gave her juice and a muffin. Well, I mean, the first thought it would be was like, just because they give it to you, that doesn't mean you need to eat and drink it. And second of all, I mean, they're observing you. It's an observation unit. So they probably are maybe thinking along the lines of, well, let's give her something that possibly might aggravate her. And if she doesn't bounce back or she doesn't go in the direction that we want her to, then we'll administer some more tests or whatnot. So there's probably a reasoning. If this did happen, there's probably a reasoning why the doctor would have suggested that. But apparently Chantal knows best, though. I mean, clearly Chantal knows best. That was mean. It
was just so weird. I was telling Salah, like, I'm here for hyperglycemia and they're giving me sugar. Anyway, so I didn't eat that. I said, I'm sorry. She's like, hey, you don't have to. She's like, I didn't cook it, so I'm not going to be insulted. About that. I said, no, it's just that, I'm just afraid to have something with sugar. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll I'll take it away. So that was that. They just told me to stay. They didn't prescribe me insulin. They told me to just stay on my metformin type of drug that I have from Kuwait. And
yeah, they basically told you there was no reason for you to be in the ER because you already have a plan. And you're obviously not being honest to us about your actual glucose readings.
To follow up with a family doctor, which I don't have, so that won't be happening. So I thought that's where my night ends. You know, she said, she comes in, she says, do you want to go home? Because I think they were going to keep me. And I said, I really want to go home. I'm so tired. I don't have my CPAP. You know, I'm just sweaty from just laying in the little cot. My bottom hurts so bad, my lower back. Oh, I want to go home. So,
Really? I mean, you were sitting in the weight room most of the time that you were there, right? And you're calling it a cot. A cot? All right.
so she let me go home. Yeah, she let me go home. And, I thought my night was over. So, you know, she takes out my IV and everything. And I had to go to the parking garage. It's cold, it's dark, it's creepy. I'm on the top floor, the 5th floor of the parking garage. That's where my car's parked, because there was nowhere to park. When I came in, the parking lot was almost full. So,
Okay, I mean, what does that matter? You're going to take an elevator regardless.
I had to take an elevator. Parking garage elevators are one of the types of elevators I'm the most scared of. You guys know I have issues with elevators, claustrophobia. I got stuck in them before, so I have some trauma there. So I just started trusting elevators again. Since where I live in Kuwait, we take an elevator, right? So,
Well, yeah, because you kind of have to. Because the alternative would probably be more detrimental than if you were to get stuck in an elevator.
but I'm always with Salah. Anyway, so I go by myself. My phone is dead at this point because I didn't think I would be in the hospital for 12 hours, so I didn't plan right. All right, so the elevator comes, I press the button, and I can hear it like boom, 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 going through the levels to come in to get me. I get in, 5th floor, the doors close, everything's fine until I get to the 5th floor. I feel like a little drop, and I'm thinking, okay, it's just leveling out. The elevator has to level. Because as somebody who's afraid of elevators, I've watched many videos on how they work to help me, like, desensitize, to help me understand that, you know, I'm going to be okay. The doors don't open, and I'm thinking, okay, it's just going to take a while to level. Some elevators do that. Nope, doesn't open. I'm stuck in the elevator, okay? I got stuck in the parking lot elevator, and I'm like, I don't have my phone. What am I going to do? It's freezing. It's not.
Okay, I don't think that this happened.
No.
I don't, because I mean, Chantal, the odds of an elevator stalling out or stopping or whatever, it's not as frequent as people think it is. That statistic is way lower than people I mean, like the fear of elevators, it's mostly irrational. But if Chantal is like the equivalent of like 3 people, that's like 3 people getting in the elevator. That's not stressing the elevator out. I mean, if it was 3 Chantals, maybe, but if it's just her.
They usually have about a 5,000 pound weight level. There's no possible way she could, hit the maximum on the weight level. But you're right. Her story is absolutely impossible. And she actually tried to reel it back in a couple days ago and say, oh, well, I just touched the door and it opened. Oh, really? Okay, Chantal.
That doesn't really put her at any greater risk if, like weight-wise. I mean, like, an elevator can hold 500 pounds. Well, it's not 500 pounds, but, you wouldn't have difficulty doing that. So she gets to the 5th floor and it just freezes. She just stalls out. I don't think this happened.
A heated elevator because it's in a parking garage. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm in this cold steel metal box trapped.
This is somebody who rolls down her window during like freezing temps because she's so hot at all times. Do you remember like her, even in Kuwait, she was constantly putting fans on her and stuff. She's always taking her jacket off. Jacket off? Yes, she's always taking her jacket off. She is constantly hot because of her body weight. this is the opposite problem with Eugenia Cooney, who has to turn her thermostat up to 77 degrees so that she can wear her fishnets and Spanx, right? But Chantel is constantly hot. So the fear of being in a cold elevator, not pressing the call button, the emergency call button, if that in fact happened, which I think all of us at this point do not think it actually happened, especially the way she described it.
And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I start immediately panicking, like that fight or flight response that I'm like, oh my gosh, my worst fear, I'm thinking, but I had to like reason with myself, okay, my worst fear is happening. What am I going to do? You know, and I'm like, okay, just stay calm. And I'm like, screw this. I took my hand. It was one of those doors that were split. They opened like this. So I just like pried, because I was on the 5th floor. I must have been, like, you know. So I pried the doors open with my hands, and it wasn't fully leveled. So I had to like kind of like step up a bit to get out. So I'm like, that's what happened. It wasn't leveling. So when the doors won't open if the elevator's not leveled for, you know, security features. Well, I pried those doors open, and they opened, and I got out anyways. Like, I'm never taking that elevator. I'm like, see ya! I actually...
No. This did not happen. Chantal, who has difficulty walking from the entrance of the Chinese buffet to her car being winded, her first instinct was to pry open elevator doors like some sort of superhero and crawl out of there. Mm-hmm. I feel like most, if not all, people's first instinct would be to press the help button inside the elevator. She didn't do that at all. Didn't even think to press the help button. Your first instinct was to pry the door open and climb out of it.
Well, and Jordy, you have to consider there's 2 sets of doors. There are the doors on each level that close so that while you're waiting for the car to come to you, there's a barricade so that you don't step into the shaft and kill yourself, right? So there's that set of doors that are on each level, and then there are the doors inside the car. So in order for her story to be accurate, she would have had to pry open both sets of doors. And if she was below the 5th floor, that means she would have had to reach up and pry open the second set of doors to get out, and then step up and get out of the car, right? And we're talking about somebody who just went to the hospital for feeling faint, right? She was feeling faint and had blurry vision and was dizzy, but now she's doing like Hulk actions. Okay.
Verbally looked at the elevator and flipped it off. I'm not kidding. That was very crass of me, but whew, now I can't ever go back. It will remember that and trap me again. See how my dumb mind works. Anyway, so that's my story. That was very scary, and I never want to go through that again. I don't want to pass away from this. Diabetes is just really not something to mess with, and I think I've fully grasped that, having gone through what I've gone through. Every time I think there's a new low and I get a health problem, I think, okay, this is it. But I think this is definitely it, and I can't in good conscience continue to eat crappy food.
No, this is not the wake-up call. You having a little bit of blurry vision, still deeming yourself okay enough to drive, and feeling a little lightheaded, and going to the hospital and getting some blood work done, and being given a muffin and apple juice, and being on your merry way. This is not a wake-up call, Chantal. This is not any type of like near disaster experience that would really put the fear of God into you to turn things around. I think that this story, if she did go to the ER, I think that this is highly exaggerated. There's a lot of fluff in it. or she may have just not gone to the ER at all. I think that she likes to continue to shock people and throw out these crazy high numbers to try to get people to, think like, oh my gosh, like, oh, she's a train wreck. What's going to happen next? Oh, she tells us she has these crazy high numbers and then she goes and does this. I mean, I acknowledge that Chantal probably makes bad decisions and she probably is down a path of destruction, but to the extent she's doing it and for what we're observing in real time, I think a lot of it is exaggerated and a lot of it is fluffed to make for the fact that she needs to have content to upload. Because, I mean, she wants to be uploading every day to make good money during December. Chantal has a lot of expenses to take care of, being with that guy over in the Middle East. She needs to pay for his apartment. She needs to pay for his car. She needs to pay for pretty much anything that he wants, in addition to everything that Chantal needs. So she's kind of financially responsible for two people. So I think that's why she feels the need to be filming all the time and working all the time, because she needs the money. So if a fake ER story is what is going to get her 20,000 views, so be it.
Especially on the channel, knowing that I've just revealed to you guys how it affects my health. So I'm going to be focusing on health journey and, just vlogs and being healthy. And, you could say, well, you're going to lose money. You're going to lose views. I don't care about that for one. But honestly, if you look at my videos, that's not true. My vlogs get more views than my mukbangs anyways. So I just want to share. I just want to help. If I don't care about how many views it gets. Like, obviously views are nice, but if I can help somebody.
You ever think that people are not exactly interested in seeing you shovel huge amounts of food into your face? That's kind of disgusting. It's a little gross. And the whole reason there's react channels out there is because we're like, why the fuck do people like this have followings and monetization, and they have crowds of people actually watching their material, and they're making money off this bullshit? You ever think about that?
And help myself at the same time. It's a win-win. All right, so thanks for listening to my story.
Chantal, who are you helping by talking about how a nurse shouldn't have brought you a muffin and apple juice and how you decided to drive despite having blurry vision? Well, my vision wasn't that blurry, so I decided to get behind the wheel regardless. What part of this story could help anyone? I would really like to know. What part of this story is inspirational or educational to anyone? I mean, there really wasn't even much entertainment value in it. I mean, there really isn't a lot of that anyway. But if that's what you were going for through telling this story, I don't understand how this would help anybody. You made poor decisions. You went to the ER because of your poor decisions. They helped you out a bit. They asked you if you wanted to stay overnight to ensure the fact that you were okay. You opted to leave. Oh, I hope this story could help somebody. What part and who?
I've just been very busy, but I hope to go live and do more content for you guys, yada, yada, yada. So I haven't been feeling the greatest, and when you don't feel great, you can't really do much, So here's to hoping I get better. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Busy. Busy. Chantal has been busy since being home. What does she have to do? What response? She doesn't work. Her husband, her relationship, her life is over on the other side of the world. She has no friends. What type of things are taking up Chantal's time while she's here in Canada? Busy.
Well, she's trying to renew her visa status, obviously. So that probably involves some paperwork and, some standing in line, which she obviously has a problem with standing in line. I don't even know what to say about this ER story. It seems unreal. It seems like she is borrowing from bits and pieces of smaller channels who have talked about their ER visits. And it's just not believable, especially the elevator part. Like, I don't even know why she included that, because that was just fucking ridiculous. That was ridiculous. Okay, so I just got something else. Let me see what it is.
Well, where'd you get that ad, and why do you know about all the sales at Victoria's Secret on push-up bras? Is it because you were there buying some for your low-hanging floppy...
So, French fried girl has a lot of pretty negative things to say about Chantel and her husband. I'm not going to jump in on some of these pretty outrageous insults. I'm not saying they aren't funny, but I don't agree. I get that you guys are having like a body shaming war. You're having a body shaming war. Okay, that's fine. But I do just want to see the content of what did he do? What did he do? Salah. She calls him salad.
Titties?
What's going on, guys? Hello everybody, welcome again to a new video roasting this moron little manlet called Ryan Moody, aka Garlic Breath. Hey Garlic.
It's the same things every day. This is 3 now. He's done same manlet, garlic breath, Victoria's Secret bra. Is it okay? Wait, did Slow Mama only write you guys one of these, and now you have to kind of work with the one you were given and keep turning it into other ones? You haven't come up with anything new in 3 attempts now. It's enough.
Well, he's got a perfume company, right? That's like his main thing. So I don't know how much time it takes to run a perfume company, but apparently he has all the time in the world to do this really weird ass hate comment. I'm not even gonna call it react comment. This is fucking hate comment at this point. This is just trying to create like internet drama to get her name out there and have her potentially get more followers for being so outrageous. Which, by the way, for those of you who follow my channel, if you're watching the people that I'm covering, I am definitely not suggesting that you follow these people. You could follow the react channels or whatever. Look, you could do whatever you want. Like, I'm not your mother. But I wouldn't suggest it, because you're just, pouring gasoline on the flames at this point by giving them clicks, giving them views, so on and so forth. So I would suggest that if you just want to see like what the train wreck is, watch the react channels, because this is just like, I'm not following any of these people. I'm not following Chantel. I am not following her husband. I am not following Amber Lynn. I am not following Eugenia Cooney. I'm not following the chick that tore up a mannequin in Target. I'm not following any of these people, because I know that if they do something fucking outrageous, I will find it on a react channel, and that's the best way to view these sort of disasters.
You let it go. This was 1 video, not 3 fucking videos. Yes, I called them low-hanging floppy tits. And a little too accurate, or Nima Marie, wifey number 3, thank you for the super chat. I'm a little pain au chocolat. No notification again. YouTube hates that.
FFG, how come we didn't get the full intro song? I love that. I love your new intro song. It's so cool. So when you don't put it on one of your videos, I'm like so disappointed.
They don't like this marriage, and they're trying to get in the middle of us. Why can't they just let us be happy? Fucking haters, bullies.
I'm so upset because you failed again to respond to the details of my previous videos. I know you don't have the nerve to answer them, but at least try to be a man and show even some highlights of them. Anyway, guys, hit that.
Oh my god, Salah, you literally sound like you're reading. Like, that is so unnatural. The way that you're discussing things right now is not discussion. That's not somebody just having a discussion with somebody. You're reading a goddamn script. It is so bizarre.
Like and subscribe, and let's get into the video to see what this moron got to say again. And then we will react to it. And don't forget to get your popcorn ready while you're watching. Have fun.
Oh,
what is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. And if there's one thing I think we can all appreciate, it's when a plan backfires. I mean, isn't that why we love to watch Roadrunner and Coyote? We used to love watching the Coyote daydream these incredible ideas and schemes to trap the Roadrunner, and then all collectively laugh when he failed miserably right in front of our face. And if there's been one person who's been the Coyote of Girl World for the past couple days, it's been none other than Salah.
Alright, so if you think I'm inserted in her world, not because I love it like you do, I'm here just to defend my wife against the kind of trash human being like you and the other morons.
First of all, you're doing nothing to help your wife's case here, okay, at all. You are doing nothing to defend your wife. You're giving the community more to laugh at and talk about. So thank you for the extra content, you absolute dipshit. Second of all, it all comes back to bitch drama. This is her community. This is the way she fed herself and housed herself for all these years. It's not up to you to step in to your wife's fucking fight, Patricia Thomas. That's what makes you Patricia fucking Thomas, okay? This is just stupid. It's not your fight. It's not your beef. Sit back and let her make her fucking money. Hugh Jass, thank you for the super chat. Oh, hypocrisy this is.
The hypocrisy.
And oh, by the way, hey Moody, in case you haven't noticed, the community you belong to is called Girl World, emphasis on the word girl. So, what are you doing here, girl?
Oh, I love how he keeps trying to, like, throw out the homophobia, right? Chantel, if you're writing these scripts for him, which I think you are, you should be very careful about what you're doing here with, like, insulting the LGBTQIA community. Throwing out the homophobic insults is not a great idea.
Where's the boom, you fucking moron? Do you not realize? Hey, Salad, the community that you just uploaded these 3 videos into is called Girl World. Boom. What are you doing here? Boom. Patricia Thomas? Jesus fuck. This is so stupid. You are a moron. He doesn't realize it. Hey, Moody, sounds flirtatious. Oh, Patricia Thomas likes it the most? Could be. Who knows? Miss Movie Buff, thank you for the super chat.
As he's been screaming into his little text microphone.
Oh, it's called Snowball Microphone with $50, which you can get them of making.
What? It's called Snowball Microphone of $50?
I guess.
Are you flexing your $50 microphone right now? Salad, stop it. You drive a car that came equipped with a fire extinguisher rolling around the front seat. You're flexing your microphone right now? I'm flexing the fact that my car isn't a fire hazard. How about that? Where's your non-flammable car? Where's your non-death trap?
2 or 3 videos of harassing the woman, garlic boy. And by the way, I'm not screaming at all. I'm just laughing hard at the level of your ignorance.
Barely reading the script that his wife wrote him.
Bro, how many times did you say this sentence? You are really boring AF. I don't know how some people watching you, to be honest.
Going after any reaction channel he can.
First time in my life I hear about this. The one who is self-defending himself against the people who came after him is called going after them. In which dictionary or library you found this?
No one comes.
Dude has English as a second language, right? So he's ESL. He lives in Kuwait as a Syrian refugee. And he's using expressions like AF, A from Canada, A, right? Chantel, we're not stupid. You're obviously writing this for him because, and he already said, well, you know, she helps me with my English. Well, obviously your English isn't that great either if that's how you write. Oh my God.
For you, Patricia Thomas, you inserted yourself into bitch drama. You're getting what you want. We've said it since the beginning. No one cares about you. You're in orbit in this story. When the orbiters are done, nobody cares about the orbiters again. We've gone through this. People follow Chantal. Done with Cokie, Cokie's channel dies. Done with Pete's is...
Yeah, well, apparently the ER story didn't work well for her, so she needs to move on and try and push Salah out there as the guy that's like attacking her haters, as she says. These are critics, Chantal. That's what happens when you have a large following, you're making a lot of money off of your monetization. You end up having critics. Not a surprising thing, okay? But to have your dude out there do it, like embarrassing himself like this, oh my God, even.
Channel dies. You're just going to be another one on the list. Don't take yourself so seriously. Stop trying to be the main character because you're not. Make yourself, oh, you did make yourself a channel. No one cares. No one's falling. You're not the main character, Patricia. Nia Marie Wavy, number 3, thank you again for super chat. Oh my God, every time you talk about his floppy tits and big birthing hips, I legit LMAO all by myself. Well, so, you know, often in life, the truth is the funniest thing. In his case, it is floppy titties. Floppy titties making comments about push-up bras. Like, you couldn't write this if you tried.
Maybe it's time to log off and go educate yourself, garlic breath. And I promise that I will be here waiting for you. And if you're aware, I have responded to you about this point in my previous video. But obviously you are trolling, and I'm here to troll back the shit out of you, loser.
Oh, wow.
Most people in the community have came to the conclusion that this is nothing more than fabricated drama for views and attention that they both desperately need to generate the income from YouTube that she's never quite been able to recapture on her own.
The point here is what? That Gorlick Bread has low views? I'm not trying to defend Gorlick Bread by any means here, but I'm going to say that just by glancing, it looks like Gorlick's Bread views look like Chantal's views, which we all know are hella better than Salad's views. You fucking weirdo. Again, not the slam dunk that you think this is at all. You're making a fool out of yourself, Patricia. Delulu, thank you for the super chat.
There's no words to describe this for real. It's clearly showing that you are a cloud chaser who is desperate for views and money. And I'm here to expose the...
Really, a clout chaser? Come on, Chantal. There is no way an ESL person is going to know all of these terms? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why are you doing this to your supposed husband? Why are you putting him in a position of being embarrassed online? Like, this is so pathetic. I feel bad for the guy. And, like, I'm not on the same page with FFG about the body shaming, but apparently he body shamed her. So I'm not going to take away from that if, like, she feels like she needs to jump back at him for that particular reason. But I find this very childish, and I just don't even get it. I really don't get why you guys are doing this, other than you think it's going to get you views, but it sounds like it's not really getting you views. So I don't, like, for instance, on my channel, when I cover your material, I get a lot less views than when I cover Eugenia's material. Just being real.
Worthless people like you.
But the plan has backfired because, if you didn't know, Salah came out and said that I was going to be challenged to turn monetization off for a month.
Yeah, and I'm so disappointed that you didn't accept the challenge because you're such a coward. If you turn your monetization off, you're gonna starve, as I said before.
Because I told him I turned monetization off on a response video to him, and I told him that he wouldn't turn his monetization off on a response video to me. So somehow, much like when he was at the gym lifting those 5-pound plates, Salah thought it was some type of man flex to tell someone to turn off monetization for a whole month when they couldn't do it for a single video.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something, Garlic Breath. I have a new deal for you. I will turn my monetization off in my next video if you show your face as a reaction channel as you claim to be. How about that? I think it's kinda easy for you, am I right?
But FFG has responded.
Interesting. So after you got scared to lose the money on your channel, you brought up another channel in your video and you stay away and hide from the war which you started? You are just proving day after day how coward and pathetic you are.
You stay away from the war that you started? What is this? This is fucking fat girl commentary. What war, you fucking psychopath? Salad, go and get a job. You have way too much fucking free time. This is stupid. There's no war. You're not impressing anybody with this, and it's certainly not getting you to Canada. So I don't know what you're wasting your fucking time for. Go to the red room. Fuck. Get your fucking rocks off. Maybe you'll calm the fuck down. Revy, thank you for the super chat. Exactly. Oh my God, Salad needs a red room appointment. Exactly. Fucking blue balls so fucking big. They're swollen up into his fucking throat right now. Idiot.
Okay, go ahead.
And actually given them the biggest gauntlet they have ever had. So not only did she start by acknowledging how ridiculous it would be to turn monetization off for a whole month.
Do you mean this channel who whipped your ass before? And you was crying over her? I wish you didn't put yourself in this embarrassing situation. It's just, no comment.
What the fuck? I am confused. Why? Listen, they're all idiots. I got nothing to say here. This was about your mama. They understand that this was about your mama. Garlic Bread made a bad take video, like commenting on this. But what was the point of putting this up? I don't get it. I am confused. Kalari, thank you again for the super chat.
She goes on to accept the challenge on my behalf and in turn challenge Chantal and Salah. Said that not only would she demonetize her channel for a whole month, she would actually go one step further and do the one thing we know Chantal has pretty much always asked for. And that would be to not even make content for a full month.
All right.
Never underestimate the power of a woman.
They say people
Like natural diamonds form over time.
Even make content for a full month.
Alright, so after we finish from roasting this grifter for now, let's move to the other point. FFG, here's my deal. And I'm gonna say it in front of thousands of people over here. We don't want you to demonetize your channel, because everybody know that you live off the super chats anyway. But we will show our marriage certificate when you come up with your lumberjack you claim to have, and show him to us and say hi to everyone.
Oh my.
Ah, you fucking idiot. That's not how this works. Let me explain something to you, Salah. I'm going to speak slowly so you understand, okay? You threw down a gauntlet. Challenge was accepted. That means your side, that means the other side. It's done. The challenge has now been accepted. If you don't want to accept the challenge, the challenge has failed. You understand? You have now tried to up the ante. Demonetization, challenge accepted with my terms. You're up in the ante talking about Mr. FFG and coming on camera and da-da-da? Okay, fine. I love gambling. I accept. But I'm going to have to up my ante too. I will come out with Mr. FFG and we will sit and react to your fat bitch of a wife together in a stream on camera when your fat fucking useless animal abusing bitch of a wife puts all of the receipts and the dossier from the visits to the vet with BBJ throughout time, all the years of owning BBJ, chronological order that shit, make yourself a little dossier, and uploads that stuff to her community tab, and we can all see the documents that she has claimed for years now to have. That cat had been well taken care of and followed throughout the years throughout a vet, vaccinated, and everything was kosher. Okay? That's me upping the ante. You want to accept? Accept. Boom!
Okay, so right now the challenge includes showing the marriage certificate as well as showing the veterinary receipts for taking care of BBJ, who Chantel has a history of accepting donations on her channel to actually care for that cat, and then went live and said, I don't have to spend the money how you told me how I have to spend the money, right? I mean, I accepted the donation. I can spend it however I want, right? So basically, that is the current challenge, that we will demonetize for a month, or at least FFG. Well, I don't know where Gorlick Bread stands on this one. If these particular actions take place. Okay. So, Salah, are you going to continue doing this stupid ass bullshit? Or are you going to accept the challenge? Or are you going to shut the fuck up?
Fucking idiot.
It's so frigging hilarious that you want proof of our marriage being real while you will not even prove you're fake, Mr. FFG, right? And honestly, I don't know if
Mr. FFG has never been a fucking thing on my channel. I'm a reaction channel. You two fucking losers who have zero to talk about on the internet have made your fake marriage arc and this fake Muslim arc and this fake fucking everything arc into content on the channel. When it's content on the channel that you've made public and lied to the people and made our marriage video and stuff. Yeah, people have the right to ask for that stuff. That has nothing to do with a non-internet person coming to the internet on a reaction channel. Apples and oranges, you stupid fuck. But still, my upping of the ante stands. You want to see a little bit of Mr. FFG? We want to see the vet papers.
If you notice that we don't owe you anything and you can go back to being irrelevant to our lives.
Even if you were not shaped like a Christmas tree, you will still get a Merry Christmas wish from me.
How you gonna make fun of someone looks fat, boy, when you look like the typical pudgy basement troll living at mommy's house? Also,
How you gonna tell somebody else to go and buy a push-up bra, boy, when you have the saggiest, floppiest tits I've ever seen on a bitch, let alone a guy?
so I wouldn't be comparing my beautiful wife to a Christmas tree when you clearly resemble a gnome or Christmas elf yourself. Oh,
Okay, that's pretty fucking accurate. I got nothing to say about that one. Credit where credit is due. Ted Bestwell, thank you for the super chat.
how cute a chubby little manlet. Get over yourself, and this Boxing Day, buy yourself a mirror. For God's sake, looks uncanny.
You know, I will be back as soon as I can.
Of course you're gonna be back soon, you little bum. You need to make that coin so bad.
With more content.
Wow.
Oh, that's got to be Chantal. Little bum? Who would say little bum? FFG gonna hurt Peter's fifis. I already hurt Patricia Thomas's fifis a long time ago. The first time he heard about his floppy tits and his birthing hips, he went, "Oh no, people can see, people can tell." And he grabbed his titties and he was like, "Why? Why do you have to sag the way you sag?" And he went to Victoria's Secret and he bought himself a fucking minimizer. Okay? This is all projection. Pixie, thank you for the super chat.
Correction here. You mean with more content.
Alright.
Alright guys, so this was my response to these two creatures and looking forward to hear their reply. And I hope they will not disappoint me again this time. Thank you all guys for watching and see you in the next one.
The word is disappoint, not disappoint, you fucking idiot. Oh man, when you're...
It's also, this was my response, not my respond. I mean, obviously, he is trying to write this based on notes that she's giving him, right? And she's doing some editing, but she's not looking through it enough to actually catch all of the editing errors, you know, like it's just definitely not going to ever get a job doing any editing.
trying to make a point, you got to at least get the words out properly. I'm not talking about accent. Nobody come for me that shit. Disappoint. How come you didn't redo that line 16 fucking times? Were you tired? Because it had already taken you hours to get this piece of shit 8-minute and 2-second, I'm not kidding, video put together? Remember, mid-rolls can be added onto an 8-minute video. 8 minutes and 2 seconds. They're not even trying here. They're not even pretending, for the love of God. Oh my God. Talking about I'm not going to demonetize my channel for a month because I live off the super chats. Okay, sitting there on your fucking 8-minute video in your fucking flammable car. Shut the fuck up, Salad. Oh, is he in a bad mood because it's Boxing Day and he couldn't afford to go and buy a new minimizer today? He's like, but I really want it. And he starts getting all worked up and his titties are flopping all over the place. And whoever he's whining to is like, hey, calm down. You're going to pop my eye out with one of those fucking things. Salad, maybe they have them on Temu during the next visa run to Thailand. Maybe.
Okay, I don't need to hear all the body shaming. But I think, you know, based on all the content that we have here, it's pretty clear that Chantal and her husband are trying to perpetrate some pretty big lies to get views. And, well, I think the fortunate thing about this is that they don't seem to be very successful at it. They should be getting, you know, with the amount of people who are following them, well, at least Chantal, they should be getting a lot of money. They should be doing quite well for themselves. But apparently they have pissed off their audiences so much that while they haven't unsubscribed, they're probably not actually following them anymore. They're probably not actually having them show up in their news feed anymore because it's just intolerable. Just being real, Chantal.